Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Ortex decided to not work today. That's why we were unable to film a video. Now here in this video, we have everything you need to know about AMC stock for this week. What's likely going to happen? I think we need to talk about it. So, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and if you want to take it a step further and come join the private trading community with over 80 members, link down below in the description of this video. I send out all of my trades in real time. A lot of people source their trades in real time. Shout out to the Closer, Big Blue CNC, shout out to IG Nico, shout out to all of the new members over there. Thank you guys for being a part of it. It's just a great place to be. Even though I am quite busy and they tend to do most of the talking, still a great place to be. Now, let's go ahead and talk about AMC. What's been going on, and what can we expect for this week? So, essentially what happened last week is the court proceeding. Now, there has been 2,800 opinions on this, basically objections to this settlement so far. Now, it's interesting because on Friday, the Delaware Court of Chancery listened to the objectors' rebuttals concerning the settlement. The court then took a recess before the final objector was scheduled to speak. However, the objector failed to show up, which effectively ended the hearing. That's strange. So, they're basically giving them a chance to show up again, which I've never heard of a court doing that. If you don't show up, it kind of is like null and void, but not with this. Now, Morgan Zern said that, or basically didn't give a specific date to when she would make her decision, and noted that she would not provide advance notice as well, that it might just come out when it comes out. She did reveal that the decision will not be unveiled next week, which means that AMC and APES shareholders will have to stretch their patience a bit longer. So we're not going to hear any new kind of definitive, ruling on this matter. Now, that's not going to change how the markets react to this. It's pretty clear, at least from my perspective, you probably get this reverse split happening. We lift the status quo order. It's going to happen. It's really only a matter of time. And if it does not happen, well, the short thesis remains. Because essentially where we're at right now is AMC potentially going bankrupt, right? That's a great reason to short the stock. That's an awesome reason to short the stock. There is no better reason to short a stock than the stock is going bankrupt or could go bankrupt. If this status quo order gets lifted, then AMC could raise up to $16 billion worth of capital. If they raise a third of that, $5 billion, they pay off a good chunk of debt. They have a good chunk of cash in the bank. I mean, it's like, and dilute the stock in the process. That's like this dynamic of, one's bad, one's worse, right? Worse would be going bankrupt. Bad is diluting the stock. Now, AMC could actually rally, and it typically does rally when AMC raises capital. Now, how AMC could rally even when AMC raises capital is by people buying the stock. Now, typically, the share price of a stock is, dictated essentially by the price of the stock, right? Maybe I said that wrong. The float and the market cap dictate the price of the stock. Okay, that's correct. So if the float decreases, in which we're expecting with the reverse split, but say AMC issues 100% more shares, that means the float, in theory, let's call it 50 million, increases to 100 million. But AMC's share price, call it $50 after the reverse split. If people go out and buy AMC and the market cap doubles, the stock could essentially stay flat even when AMC does raise a lot of capital. Hopefully that made some sense. Now, if you see more buying than issuing of AMC, then that would mean the stock would go higher. Now, I think the initial reaction is going to go higher.
Yeah.
AMC to the moon?
It's in the moon.
All right, that's official. So, long story short, this could drive a lot of attention to AMC. This could cause... Okay, can you go play? Can you go play? Can you go watch your movie? Okay. This could drive a lot of attention to AMC. This could drive a lot of buying pressure into AMC. Fun fact, every time AMC has raised capital, the stock has rallied in the past, right? Just every single time. I don't think this time would be any different. Now, what's different about this time around is AMC just needs to raise the capital. And in the way that they're able to raise capital, it's not $200 million, it's not $1 billion, it's up to $16 billion. Just a fraction of that would be huge for AMC's business. This crushes the short thesis. It's going to make the float smaller. You're going to have a massive short position on AMC. What's there not to like? Compare it to the alternative of AMC doesn't raise capital, we run out of money, and the stock goes bankrupt. That's the tale of two tales right now. I mean, that's it. That's what we're facing. So when I look at from that perspective, it's better to have this go through than not, right? And both of them are not great options. But again, this reverse split, raising capital, is better for crushing the short thesis than AMC doing nothing and going bankrupt. That does nothing to crush the short thesis. That actually encourages more shorting and potential illegal shorting of AMC stock. So that's kind of the way that I'm looking at this. Now, at the same time, everyone is so negative on AMC. I've said this many times now, and I'm almost beating a dead horse at this point. But a sell the rumor, buy the news event. Typically, it's buy the rumor, sell the news. But in this specific example, you've seen so much downside and you've seen so much negativity baked into AMC right now that you might get a rally after we do get a final decision from the courts. And again, AMC's fundamentals have actually been improving this whole time. So this would be a different topic of conversation, right? Whether we go up or down after the reverse split. If AMC's business was going down the toilet, that is not happening as of right now. Things have actually been getting better and better. So this week, we're not expecting to hear anything from the courts. But the stock will still react in a way that's making their own judgments about this. And, with the current narrative, with dilution, things of that nature, then it might look like, AMC could fall a little bit this week, if that's the narrative that takes over. If short sellers take the narrative that I'm saying, that the short thesis is going to be crushed and, things are going to get better from here fundamentally, there's no reason to short AMC. Well, that would be a very positive for the share price this week. So from that perspective, I don't expect a huge move either direction. And I know some people are going to hate that, right? Not expecting a big move either direction. Now, if we go ahead and take a look at the Ortex data, give you guys a rundown of what the current data looks like. First, before we do that, Intera Capital just sold another 8 million shares of APE. This brings their ownership down to about 93 million shares. They owned over 250 million shares at one point. They are dumping out of their position. And this is, again, more further evidence that probably good things are coming for AMC, right? Intera Capital, if they thought this was money in the bank, if they thought APE was going to double from here like some people thought or still think, then they wouldn't be selling so aggressively their APE position. Now, if we take a look at some of the data with AMC, first thing I got to point out is AMC is on the threshold securities list. So keep that in mind heading into this trading week. This trading week will be shorter. I believe tomorrow is a half day and Tuesday you are closed for trading. And then things will open as normal on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Could be wrong. Maybe the half day is on Wednesday and we're closed for trading. No. I think the half day is tomorrow. Either way, it doesn't matter. The AMC is on the threshold securities list. This puts upside pressure on closing out some of short positions or failure to delivers, which is bullish buying pressure for AMC. Now, biggest story of last week was the cost to borrow fees. Cost to borrow fees shot up higher. Cost to borrow average 782.5%. Cost to borrow max at 1,060%. Cost to borrow minimum at 8.26%. These are huge numbers. Interactive Brokers currently has cost to borrow fees of 251%, with about 2,000 shares currently available to be lent out. There's like no shares currently available out there with very high cost to borrow fees. That puts a lot of pressure on the short sellers. Now, you're currently looking at a live short interest of free float at 23.5% and 121.5 million shares that are currently sold short. Now, if we take a look at some of the option activity, we did see some bullish buying of AMC options heading into the last couple of minutes of trading on Friday. You seen an August 18th $2 call get purchased for $121,000. January 17th, 2025, $1 call for $105,000. A June 30th $1 call for $327,000. And a September 15th $2 call worth $123,000. This was all in the last 5 minutes of trading or so on Friday. So some people were taking a bullish stance on AMC at the end of last week. Overall, pretty rough week as far as options. We've seen that before, and that's where a lot of the downside for AMC stock has actually been happening. With all of these bearish bets placed on AMC via options, it forces market makers to short the stock, right? The market makers are there to provide liquidity. Either direction the thing swings for AMC or any other stock, that means market makers have to go out and hedge those short positions. Last week, you've seen 385 orders totaling $176 million with AMC with a positive order value of 6%. On Friday, you've seen a very high amount of options purchased, 77 orders totaling $47.2 million with a positive order value of 5%. So the way things kind of look from here, I don't expect a lot of movement until the judge finally does make her decision, and I think it's going to be taken in a bullish light. Now, option activity for the next 2 weeks is very much muted. You have about 13,000 calls in the money for this week, 95,000 calls that are out of the money, 19,000 puts in the money, and 72,000 puts that are out the money. And then that week of July 14th is even smaller with about 28,000 calls out the money, 1,500 calls in the money, 20,000 puts in the money, and 18,000 puts out the money. If you do see a lot of influx of buying calls or puts, that would lead to obviously the stock going higher or lower depending on calls or puts, or if they're in the money, if they're out the money, things of that nature. All in all, I do expect there to be some movement, right, in both directions. That's to be expected, but I don't really expect a clear, concise sell-off or a clear, concise rally this week. I lean more towards a rally just because of where we're currently at with AMC. Things are, pretty depressed still and pretty suppressed. You're trading at the lowest levels that we have seen in a long time still. You've really done nothing since December of 2022 or March of 2023. You've really traded sideways here, and you're at the lower end range. I think odds are you do get an upside move if you do get a big move in general. So that is going to do it for this video. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and source your comments, questions, or concerns down below in the comment section. You guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.